Hello again there, Star Wars The Vintage Collection action figure fans and collectors. This is another Star Wars vintage action figure review, and this time I'm doing the Star Wars Revenge of the Sith Yoda from the Vintage Collection. I'm not going to mess with him at all, or like take him out of this pose, because he was actually very difficult to get him in this pose, and I really like this pose for him, and I really want him to stay in this pose, so I'm not going to really take him out of this pose, but I will give you a little bit of a close-up and a little bit of a different view of him there. So like I said, this is the Vintage Collection Yoda figure, and sorry I didn't get a chance to, I got this guy last week and I didn't get a chance to get a boxed video on him. I ended up tearing him open before I did a boxed video, but we've got a really cool photo of Yoda here. There's the Star Wars Revenge of the Sith logo, and I'm sure most of you probably know that this Yoda was slated to come out in the Return of the Jedi wave, and you see that pictured on the back of the card here. You see the the whole entire wave, save for Admiral Akbar and the Gamorrean, I believe, pictured on the back there, albeit with the corrected Luke Skywalker card. There's the original Revenge of the Sith release. But as this is not a Revenge of the Sith or an Empire, actually it was scheduled to be released there with an Empire card in the Return of the Jedi wave, I believe. I could be wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong in my comments, but as this figure is quite obviously not a Empire Strikes Back version of Yoda, they pulled it at the last minute and they did not release the figure. So anyhow, this will be a kind of a quick review. He does have a ball jointed head, he has ball hinged elbows, he has swivel elbows and swivel wrists, he has swivel hips, he has ball jointed or ball hinged knees, and he has a ball socket foot, much like the old Revenge of the Sith one did. Is kind of like this here. His legs are in a straight pose, and where this one here, this is the old Revenge of the Sith one, is kind of like an action pose. His legs are in more of a straight pose, but you can use the ball hinge to give him more of an action pose. He comes with his lightsaber, which is not handy to me right now. It's somewhere around here somewhere. He comes with this little force, force lightning absorbing orb thing that you can actually put on his hand, and it looks pretty cool. And he comes with this cane, and I wanted him to have this pose right here, so I put it in there. And the reason why I don't want to mess with him is because particularly his right arm, when you're trying to pose it, just pops right out of the socket. I mean, it just like falls out with barely any effort or force or anything, and it gets caught inside of the cloak, and the cloak is a little bit oversized for Yoda here, although it looks great. I think it's the best Yoda cloak they've done yet. I don't know if I like too much what they've done on the collar here, because he does have a hood, and they didn't give him one. That's my only gripe about the cloak. But it's a little bit nicer, softer material. Whoops, I messed up his thingy there. But anyhow, so it was a real big pain to get him in this pose, and just knowing what I know from trying to pose him, it would be a real big pain to get him into any pose, because those arms do pop out. And also, he doesn't stand very well, which is why I have him on a stand. Even though he's got those ball socket feet there, they don't really tend to like to lay too flat, so he falls over a lot. So there's a few problems with this Yoda. Mostly it's the arms. The flat feet doesn't bother me too much, because I can just slap him on a stand like I've done. But the arms are just really irritating, and it's really kind of disappointing that you know, I would have rather they not had the swivel elbows, to tell you the truth. While I'm definitely a fan of adding more articulation to a figure, this is where I think the articulation has taken away from the figure. I don't know why they couldn't have done a ball hinged elbow when the new Ahsoka figure that just came out back here, she's got really thin arms and she's got a ball hinged elbow. So they could have done it. I don't know why they didn't. The head sculpt is pretty cool. Definitely very much like the animation model of Yoda. I kind of think that the hair is very rinky-dink in the back, though. It looks more like they were trying to model a rock than hair, and so I'm disappointed in that. It would have been cool if they would have given him some real lifelike hair, like they did that Power of the Force 2 flashback Yoda that they had. That was a really cool Yoda. But I don't know, it's still a pretty cool Yoda. It looks really good displaying. He's more like a statue in my collection because I don't plan on messing with him too much. So anyhow, that's probably going to do it for this review. Thanks for watching. Definitely comment me back on what your thoughts are. We like to know what everybody else thinks of the figures and of the review, of course. And until next time, may the Force be with you. Bye-bye.